जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome you to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita session. Is my voice audible? Because I'm using the earphone. Are you able to hear me clearly, or should I remove the...
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all gracious Srila Prabhupada. You are very clear.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Pranam. So, yes, so today is December 23rd for you, 24th for us. We're reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 9, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's travels to South India. And specifically, we are in the episode of Chaitanya one Buddhist philosopher coming and debating with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if you listen to not yesterday's lecture, but the one before that, you'll get a nice recap of what we covered so far. So there are 9 principles, 9 philosophical conclusions of Buddhism, and in those, he is debating with Mahaprabhu, trying to establish the Buddhist philosophical conclusions. But his basis of argument is logic. He is trying to establish the Buddhist conclusions based on logic, not based on Shastra. Not only this Buddhist, there were many other philosophers. Each one had his own philosophy. And Mahaprabhu defeated all of them based on Shastra, based on Vedas, Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra. But the Buddhist came and his basis of argument was logic. So Mahaprabhu also defeated him with logic. And what is very significant here is Srila Prabhupada is actually going into the details of what those 9 philosophical conclusions are in the purport Srila Prabhupada is explaining to us. what these nine philosophical conclusions are of the Buddhists and how each of these can be defeated based on logic. This is very relevant to us in today's world because if you met people and if you quoted from Shastra, because they are of such a low consciousness. Earlier, if you went in a Vedic society, if you quoted from Shastra, people would just accept it. Oh, this is Veda. That means that much culture and advancement was there to accept, oh, if this is Vedic statement, then it cannot be negated. You have to obey it. But now that's not there. All people actually, you know, what will work nowadays to them is you have to. So the idea is you have to present it to them in such a way so that you can bring them to the point of accepting bhakti. So actually, if you just because now they'll quote, science and scientists and our inventions and so on and so forth. These arguments offered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the Buddhist, these and especially here Srila Prabhupada is elaborating in the purport, these are very helpful to us when we preach to people in today's world. These are the, you know, uh, these are the points that are going to be presented to you, right? These are the ones that you will have to face. You'll be challenged. Of course, logic is not the authority. I'm not saying that logic is the. If you are able to quote anything from Shastra and make your point, that is ultimate, actually. That is ultimate. But if the person in front of you is so ignorant, so dull, you know, then you have to, it's like giving medicine, in a sugar coated medicine like that. Just give it somehow or other to bring that person to the point of bhakti. But actually, in fact, Shastra Pramanam, the ultimate Pramana, the ultimate authority is Shastra. And in that also, if you're able to make a statement from Srimad Bhagavatam, nothing can beat that. That's the ultimate. That's final. All Shastric statements are ultimate, Shastra Pramanam. They are all facts. They are all true. But there is hierarchy, higher and lower, like we were discussing yesterday. Who is eligible for lower, people with lower instructions, right? So dharma shastras, there is dharma shastras and there is bhakti shastras. Dharma shastras are meant for those, that means they have to be abided. When I say they are meant, they have to be abided. Otherwise, there is sin, pratyavaya, right? There will be some consequence if you don't abide by dharma shastras. That's for people with lower consciousness. If somebody already got mercy of the devotees and now he is practicing some bhakti, he got some faith and he is building that faith. Does he have to follow dharma shastras? Yes, he also have to follow. The extent to which he is not doing bhakti, to that extent he has to follow dharma shastra. He has to follow dharma shastras. The extent to which he is not doing bhakti, like if you're doing for 2 hours bhakti and 22 hours you're not doing bhakti, you're doing other things, those things that you're doing must be abiding dharma shastras. You cannot do activities against dharma even while you're doing, for your body, whatever you're doing. But what about if somebody is doing 24 hours bhakti? He's endeavoring to do only bhakti. Bhakti means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, like that. 24 hours he's trying to do only that. He's doing that. He's endeavoring to do that 24 hours. Then does he still require to observe dharma shastras? There, he will not break the do's. Dharma shastra is saying you should do this and you should do this and you should do that. Uh, he will not willingly break them. Why? Because dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Dharma is coming from the Lord. So if dharma is coming from the Lord, why will he break dharma? He got faith in the Supreme Lord. And if these are the orders of the Lord, why will he break dharma? He won't break. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. But does he need to follow those? He's not required to follow those. He's not required. If he didn't follow, is there any problem? No problem. He doesn't need to follow. Why? Because for him he's abiding by the bhakti shastras, higher principle. Bhakti is supreme. But at the same time, he will not break, especially not the do's. Do's he's not required to do, actually, sorry. Like you should do, this and that, like, 3 times a day you have to do whatever, certain things, dharma, right? You have to give charity and you have to do this and that, so many things. Karma kanda, karma. He's not obliged to do, and he won't do also. He doesn't need to do. He may do it only to set example to others, but for himself, he doesn't feel the need that, Arey, if I didn't do this, I will get sin. No. One who is doing a Shuddha Bhakta, 24 hours, who is doing devotional service, he doesn't need to do karma. So those Dharma Shastras orders, he doesn't need to follow. He won't follow those. Or he won't feel the need to do. If he does also externally to set example, like Lord Krishna observing the rules of a grihastha or the rules of a kshatriya, does Krishna need to follow those? He doesn't need. Then why he's doing? Because yad yad acharati shreshtas. Tad tad evetaro janaha. What a leader does, others are observing and they will also follow. So he will do it so that the lower conscious people, by seeing him, they will not go to hell. They will follow in his footsteps and they will be uplifted. For that purpose only, even pure devotees, externally they may follow the Dharma Shastras. But like Yudhishthir Maharaj, the Pandavas, playing the role of Kshatriyas, they do it. You can say even like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada also. Externally, grihastas, and then, maybe a businessman or a magistrate. This is external. That's not their, that's not their consciousness that I'm a grihastha, I must do my duties as a grihastha, I must do my, duties as a magistrate and this and that. No. But were they doing them properly? Very pakka. Why? To set example to the world. When you're doing your duties, you do your duties properly. Why you have to do those duties? Because you're of lower consciousness. One who is of higher consciousness, he doesn't need. So in the higher consciousness also, there are two types of people, two types of devotees. One is called Bhajananandi, one is called Goshtyanandi. Bhajananandis are like Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. They don't do, like activities to set example to others. No. Is there anything wrong if they did like that? No. Perfect. You can choose either Bhajananandi or Goshtyanandi is fine. You can do. Goshtyanandis, they do it out of compassion for others. But at the same time, their bhajan won't stop. They are doing their bhajan continuously. Their consciousness is always with Krishna. But to set example to others, externally they are doing following Dharma Shastras. They are not required to follow Dharma Shastras. Now in Dharma Shastras, you have both do's and don'ts also. Don'ts, for regulative principles that we follow. You should not do. So, do the devotees observe the don'ts? Yes, they do. You cannot say that since they are higher, so they can also break the regulative principles, no problem for them. So, Dharma Shastras, you understand what I'm saying? There are two types. There is statements which are saying that you should do something, and statements which are saying you should not do something. Devotees, Shuddha Bhaktas, right? When I say devotees, also there are two categories. Those who are aspiring to come to the stage of Shuddha Bhakti and those who are already on the platform of Shuddha Bhakti. These are two. Both are Vaishnavas. Those who are aspiring, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in Ajamil Upakhyanam that both are Vaishnavas. Those who are endeavoring, that means those who are doing some karma and offering that karma to the Lord, whatever karma they are doing, they are offering it to the Lord with love. And according to their faith, they are practicing bhakti. And their goal is pure devotional service only. Material advancement is not their goal. That is for karmis. Improving our material standards and, security in life and this and that. That is for karmis. Bhaktas, yes, I need to, what's that verse in Srimad Bhagavatam? Labho jiveta yavata. Right? As much as I need to maintain this body, let me earn that much. Let me eat as much as it is needed to maintain this body. Let me have a place which is needed so my body is protected. Why you want to protect your body? Jivasya tattva jignasa. This body I want to live so that I can do tattva jignasa. I want to inquire about the absolute truth. I want to attain the Supreme Lord by doing bhakti. That means I want to maintain this body so that I can do bhakti. That's the only reason why I want to maintain this body. Then whatever work I do should be only that much which is needed to maintain this body, not extra, not for so many generations after me. Let me accumulate and my grandchildren, great grandchildren, everyone will be. That's all Maya. Not like that. Work as much as it is needed to maintain your body and use this time for bhakti. That's the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam is telling us. So, when I say Vaishnavas, even those who are not in Shuddha Bhakti, they are also called Vaishnavas. What is their consciousness? They are doing karma, they are working, but that work is also according to Shastra. They follow Dharma Shastras, they work. And how much they will work? Because every karmis are also working, Nishkama Karma Yogis are working, everyone. But what is the quality of the work of a devotee when you say he's a Vaishnava? He didn't get full faith yet, so he's not a Shuddha Bhakta. So he's working. He feels that to maintain this body, I need to work. Yes, he feels that. He feels that way. He still has identifying with this body. He identifies himself as belonging to a particular community, a particular family. He has that. So that won't come out so easily. For you to come out of that, you have to have full faith in the Supreme Lord and in your identity as a servant of the Lord. When you get that, then that faith, when you get that faith, then that will go out. Sarva upadhi vinirmuktam, you'll come out of all upadhis, all designations of the body. So, until then, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says he's also a Vaishnava, even if he didn't get that. But his work he's doing only to maintain his body, and that work also, the results he's offering to the Lord with love, and his goal is only pure devotional service. So he's also. In this stage, should he follow Dharma Shastras or not? Yes, he should. Why? Because he still has this identity with this. He's still identifying with this body. You must follow. If you don't follow, the extent to which you are not following, it is actually going to affect you, hit you back in the way of bringing your consciousness into, pulling it down into the modes of passion and ignorance. Your mind will be pulled down. So, Dharma Shastras, my point is, Dharma Shastras are essential for even those um, who didn't get full faith yet. They should abide by Dharma Shastras. Those who got full faith and who are doing Shuddha Bhakti, they don't need to observe. They should not observe or feel the orders of Shastra, of Dharma Shastra. They're saying you should do this and you should do that. No, they should not feel that I have to follow. So they don't follow. They transgress Dharma Shastra's orders of what to do because they got faith in bhakti. But things which you should not do in Dharma Shastras. They say no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling. Yes, even Shuddha Bhaktas will observe that. They will not break those. They will not break those. Then you may say, what about apichet suduracharo bhajate ma mananya bhag sadhureva samantavyaha? Usko sadhu manna hi chahiye. Krishna is saying, you should consider him a sadhu, even if he is doing sinful activities. Apichet sudurachara. Sudurachara means extremely bad activities. Like what? Having sex with one's guru's wife. It's like extremely bad sinful activities. We are not talking about ordinary. Such activities. And plundering another person. Paradravya, paradara, right? Taking another's wife and or plundering another's property, killing someone, such activities. Even if one does, अपिचेत्सु दुराचारः भजते मम अनन्य, अगर वो अनन्य भाग मतलब 24 hours is doing devotional service, you may wonder how is it possible for someone who is doing 24 hours devotional service to do sinful activities and such abominable sinful activities. There is an explanation for that also. These are extremely rare cases. Extremely, you won't find them and all. So you don't quote this shloka whenever you see some fall down somewhere and then you say, oh, it's not that you just apply it to anyone who has a fall down, oh, he's still a Vaishnava. Not like that. It's an extremely rare case. What is that? What is the condition there? This person does not have Shastriya Shraddha. Shastriya Shraddha means your faith is based on scripture. You got Dridha Shraddha that is based on Shastrartha Vishwasa. On script, based on scripture, you got this faith that I should surrender to Krishna. That's called Shastriya Shraddha. Shastriya Shraddha is only Dridha Shraddha. If it is not Shastriya Shraddha, it is not Dridha Shraddha. You may have that drive for some time, but because you are not backed by that conviction in Shastra, you may fall down at some time. So that type of faith is called Loka Parampara Jata Shraddha. Loka Parampara Jata. Jata means it's born. From what? Loka Parampara. Loka Parampara means what? It's coming down, maybe in your family, right? After a certain age, like after 50 years, we are Yadavas. After we cross 50, we surrender our lives to Krishna. Now we do 24 hours. This is the system in our family. So you just follow. And even if you want contemporary examples, parents become devotees because the children have taken to Krishna consciousness. That means my foundation, right, of Krishna consciousness is my child, because my child is doing and I am doing. So you shouldn't stop at that. After that's good to enter, you have come like that. But after that, now you should build your own confidence, your own faith, why you are doing bhakti, not just because my child is doing. But this is what Bhagavad, that's why reading books is important, hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam is important to understand why we are doing what we are doing. Otherwise, you know what is happening? My friend has brought me to Krishna consciousness and we had some problem. My friend left, so I also leave. There is one person who brings so many people to Krishna consciousness. Maybe he's in the same IIT college or something, and all the other students seeing him, oh, we will also do. Everyone joined. 50 people joined. And when that person leaves, all 50 people leave. Why? Because his faith is Loka Parampara Jata Shraddha. It is not Shastriya Shraddha. If you don't get Shastriya Shraddha, then you can. So that is why this person, even if he is doing Ananya Bhakti means always remember that definition, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhanavritam Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. Unless that is satisfied, the three conditions are satisfied, it's not Shuddha Bhakti. This person is doing it like that, 24/7, only for Krishna he's doing. However, he didn't get Shastriya Shraddha. He got Loka Parampara Jata Shraddha. He didn't get Shastriya Shraddha means what? He doesn't know Shastra. He doesn't know what is right and what is wrong from Shastra. He doesn't know that having sex with my guru's wife is bad. Now you tell me, how many people are there who don't know this? What are the chances? But still it is there in Bhagavad Gita means some extreme, maybe some, he didn't know and he did it. What is Krishna saying? Even if he did such an abominable thing, because he is doing bhakti, that bhakti is going to protect him. You should consider him sadhu. Even if he did that. While he is doing that, also you consider him sadhu. Not that while he is doing that, then he is a sinful person, and after that I will consider him as sadhu. Krishna says, no. Why? Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Because of his ananya bhakti, continuously doing bhakti, immediately he will be lifted. Now, what is Krishna's purpose of saying this? Krishna's purpose of saying this is not that, oh, bhakti will save you. Now you go and do all types of sinful activities, even up to the point of having sex with one's guru's wife, no problem. Bhakti will save you. Go ahead. Is that what Krishna is saying here? That's how people will take. We are given little bit of, like, we'll see what incentives are there. Srila Prabhupada said, if you chant 16 rounds, you can go back to Godhead. That much only I will do, not more than that. Finished. He said 16 rounds, right? So I will go back. He said other things. So many times he said other things, but all that push aside. Just hold this one thing. That is to help you start. Because all of a sudden such a big thing is given, then you become overwhelmed. Oh my God, how can I do this? It's not possible. This is an expert teacher. How do you teach small children? All of a sudden you give calculus maths, the child will be like, my God. But you just say, start with some numbers, and even numbers also, you just give some, some counters or something, and help them learn. You're teaching math, but in a very simple way. And they're learning. But that doesn't mean you keep that student there only eternally. This is all there is in math. There's nothing more. How can you say that? So, apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak. The purpose of Krishna saying that is, bhakti is so powerful. Just look at the glory of bhakti. Even if someone did such an abominable act, still, because he's doing bhakti, he will be protected. That means, look at the glory of bhakti. He's giving assurance. He's giving such assurance. Don't worry that I've had such a background and I have done this or that. Just take shelter of bhakti. Bhakti is completely capable of giving you protection. Take full shelter of bhakti. You don't need to go anywhere else. It doesn't matter what you have done. Bhakti can save you. Take shelter of Krishna. Take to bhakti. That is Krishna's intention. Not that look for loopholes, right? Oh, okay, so I'll do this and a seventh offense will happen. Committing sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy names. If you knew it, if you knew Shastra and then you're doing, you are an offender. Bhakti Maharani will be angry. She will be displeased. That means our bhakti, we won't progress in bhakti. That's offense. But this person, he doesn't know. Willingly, he's not doing it. He doesn't know and he's doing it. And he's protected. So now my point is Dharma Shastras and Bhakti Shastras, which is applicable to whom? Dharma Shastra is applicable to those who are doing karma with faith in karma. That means they're still identifying with the body. They have to abide by Dharma Shastras, the do's and don'ts. Those who got Shuddha, Shastriya Shraddha, they don't have to abide by the do's of Dharma Shastra, but they don't transgress the don'ts. You shouldn't do this, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling. They abide by that. However, somebody is doing Shuddha Bhakti with not Shastriya Shraddha, but Loka Parampara Jata Shraddha. Loka Parampara Jata Shraddha. He doesn't know Shastra. He can transgress even the don'ts. And still he's a devotee. Okay. Now there is one more category who is not required. He's a higher category, Raganuga Bhakta. Raganuga Bhakta means, we discussed yesterday, that he got a taste for 24 hours bhakti. Not faith in Shastra. Faith in Shastra is in, it's automatically it's there. That means it's understood. It's because he's of a higher grade. If you say someone is in 10th grade, already he knows first grade. It's implied. So this person has a taste, natural, greed to do bhakti like the Vrajvasis. That's a Raganuga Bhakta. Does he need to abide by the Dharma Shastras, do's and don'ts? No need. Can you find fault with him if he is not abiding by them? No, you cannot. Okay. So, I don't know. Every day I'm trying to read Chaitanya Charitamrita and I just go somewhere else. But here, let's get to our reading. So, this Buddhist philosopher, he, these are their 9 principles, philosophical conclusions. And he wants to establish his 9 points and is debating with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he is not basing his arguments on Shastra. Rather, his arguments are based on logic. But tarka apratishtanat, tarka means logic, argument. You cannot, argument has no authority in establishing the absolute truth, in proving the absolute truth, in knowing the absolute truth. By argument, you cannot know what is the absolute truth, who is Krishna. You cannot understand by logic. It's not possible. But I was telling you how we face people with such questions like, creation. They say everything is done by nature, it is happening automatically. There's no person, there's no creator behind. You hear these, right? The modern day ideas, atheistic ideas. There is no creator. How do you counter these arguments? We are seeing in the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how he countered. That's why, see, the verse is just saying the scriptures of the Buddhist cult are chiefly based on argument and logic and they contain 9 chief principles. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated the Buddhists in their argument, they could not establish their cult. But now Srila Prabhupada is giving such a long purport, step by step, refuting each of those 9 arguments. Why? Because it's very relevant in today's world. You will see these arguments. How are you going to counter? So we already covered first 4, that the creation is eternal and there is no need to accept a creator. So, but their one of their what do you say conclusion is the ultimate goal is annihilation. So that is countered by, if there is no creator, because creation is eternal, that means there's no point when there is when creation happens, right? So if there is no creation, there should be no annihilation. This is logic. How your goal is annihilation? You see? So we saw that. And another thing was, this cosmic manifestation is false. If this cosmic manifestation is false, then the pains and pleasures in this world are also false. So this is the counter. So why you're taking medicine, why you're eating for hunger, why you're wearing winter clothes for to deal with the cold, it is false, right? So your pains and pleasures are also false. Why you're doing all that if it is false? Counter, logical counter. Then the third one was, I am is the truth. So here what you have to see is, I am means they're saying I. It's like that Brahman, like Brahma Satyam type. I am is the truth. But they're not saying you, I and you. No, there's only I. So then the logical counter would be, it's based on his whole, the Buddhist philosophy is based on argument. Chiefly, it's based on argument and logic. For argument, you need 2 people. If there's only one, where is there argument? Where is there a debate? Where is the scope for debate if there's no 2? There's only one. You came to debate with me, and then you're saying the conclusion is only I am is the truth. Then what, if there's only I am, who are you debating with? And then the fourth one was, there is repetition of birth and death. So there is repetition of birth and death means because they don't accept that there is a spirit soul. Their goal is ultimately annihilation, right? It's voidism, voidism. Buddhist philosophy is voidism. That means ultimate goal is just annihilate everything. So this birth and death, the repetition of birth and death is true, you're saying, but automatically when you say there is when you're saying there is birth and death, that means after death there will be another birth, and then after birth there will be another death. Yes. जातस्य हि ध्रुवं मृत्युर ध्रुवं जन्म न जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युर ध्रुवम जन्म. What is that shloka? That means one who dies, he takes birth. One who has taken birth is sure to die, and after death, one takes birth again. This is a fact. So they're saying there is repetition of birth and death. But who is it that is taking birth after death? So there has to be a spirit soul which is not material. It's not just ending everything and that's it. Voidism. I mean, I actually don't understand the logic behind this philosophy. I am is the truth. There is repetition of birth and death, and annihilation is the goal. How all three can fit in together, I don't know. But that's the fourth one. We completed that. At least I will read a little bit. Is it time? What time is it? Oh, okay. Let me just read a little bit. Wait. Just I will start. So the fifth principle, we'll read one paragraph today. I'm just trying to read about their birth and death. We existed in the past in different bodies, and after annihilation of this body, we shall exist in another body. The principle of the soul is eternal, and it exists in this body or in another body. Even in this lifetime, we experience existence in a child's body, youth's body, man's body, and old body. After the annihilation of the body, we acquire another body. The Buddhist cult also accepts the philosophy of transmigration, but the Buddhists do not properly explain the next birth. That's the point, right? Because you see something is missing in that. It doesn't become clear. They don't properly explain the next birth. There are 8,400,000 species of life, and our next birth may be in any one of them. Therefore, this human body is not guaranteed. So now let's read the fifth one. According to the Buddhist fifth principle, Lord Buddha is the only source for the attainment of knowledge. Not Vedas, only Lord Buddha. We cannot accept this, for Lord Buddha rejected the principles of Vedic knowledge. One must accept a principle of standard knowledge because one cannot attain the absolute truth simply by intellectual speculation. If everyone is an authority, or if everyone accepts his own intelligence as the ultimate criterion, as is presently fashionable, the scriptures will be interpreted in many different ways, and everyone will claim that his own philosophy is supreme. This has become a very great problem, and everyone is interpreting scripture in his own way and setting up his own basis of authority. Yato mat tato pat. Now everybody and anybody is trying to establish his own theory as the ultimate truth. The Buddhists theorize that annihilation or nirvana is the ultimate goal. Annihilation applies to the body, but the spirit soul transmigrates from one body to another. If this were not the case, how can so many multifarious bodies come into existence? If the next birth is a fact, the next bodily form is also a fact. As soon as we accept a material body, we must accept the fact that that body will be annihilated and that we will have to accept another body. Right? If all material bodies are doomed to annihilation, we must obtain a non-material body or a spiritual body if we wish the next birth to be anything but false. Because one of their conclusions is, birth and death are true, right? There is repetition of birth and death. So if you wish the next birth to be anything but false, that means you are saying it is true, then after all bodies are annihilated, there has to be a non-material body. That means there is a soul. They don't say about the soul, but there must be a soul. When all the material bodies are annihilated, there has to be a soul. Okay, this has very important points, so we don't have time, so we will discuss this tomorrow. But the highlight here is accepting only Lord Buddha as authority means actually we cannot do that because Lord Buddha has rejected the Vedas. Then therefore they are called atheists. Anyone who doesn't follow the Vedas is called an atheist. And the other great problem that we are facing is now everyone will come up, like the Buddhists have their own philosophy, they have their own, like these 9 conclusions they came up with that are not from the Shastra, from the Vedas. Like this, everyone is coming up with their own philosophy. So even today also, so many things are coming up in the world today. And they are not even, they have nothing to do with God consciousness or anything. Even Buddhism, it's about be nice and all that. There's no God consciousness. When you remove Vedas from picture, then gradually people come down to animal platform only. Even worse, actually. So that happens in we should also be very extremely cautious and careful when we speak from Shastra. First of all, take responsibility to understand the scripture properly, study properly, learn from, a teacher, study nicely, and then present it as it is. Not that whatever comes in my fertile brain, however I interpret it, and I just, I derive different meanings, right? From that, 10 people will derive 10 different conclusions, and then they make a nice, attractive presentation. But the others who are hearing, they take that as Bhagavad Gita, that as Srimad Bhagavatam. How is it benefiting that person? That chain of disciplic succession will get broken if we mix. You give little bit, but give only the authentic, what was said. Our position is to just repeat. You repeat as it is, then you're giving pure knowledge, pure knowledge to the other person. Then it will help. But adulterated and concocted, if we give, it's like eating adulterated foods outside, right? Mixed. You'll fall sick. So I will stop here. Time for Mangalarti. Thank you all so much for joining today. So we'll have class again tomorrow. Sri Caitanya Charitamrit ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhaiva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
so much.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Nice to see you
Hare
again.
Krishna.